That's for the 2% female viewership. Another game theory video today. Remember, if you like the videos, like, subscribe, comment, share, support the channel if you want. Actually, you know what? Remember, if you like this paint quality, you sure as hell better like it, dude. I was actually thinking maybe I should do something like painting with Bob Ross, painting with Clayton. Is that joke too stupid? Because paint. Do you get it? Do you get the joke? I know I'm hilarious. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm here every Friday. Um, so today's video is going to be about, I want to talk about potential complexity in archaicness or something like that, right? So I've talked about before, every video game needs to progress. There needs to be progression in games. And I like counter hits, right? I think counter hits are interesting, but even when I made my videos about how I would potentially change Street Fighter, I put in a caveat, at least I think I did. I've talked about it maybe on streams before, that counter hits are cool because I like the idea of, scoring a counter hit, scoring a counter hit, whatever, maybe a random neutral that leads to a new link combo, whatever. But one caveat for adding for counter hits is if there were counter hits on a jumping normal, I said that I would not have the jumping normal do more stun. It could do more damage, that's okay. But I would not have it do more stun. Because there is again, which I want to get into this video, a potential complexity in that sort of archaicness of Street Fighter before in terms of jumping in. And I want to show a couple specific examples here, right? So again, counter hits on the ground, adding to new links, cool, more damage, more stun, that's fine. But air hits, I would say, do the same amount of stun, just more damage. And why would I do this? Well, let's look at a couple of examples here, right? We have, say, old school Street Fighter, right? Very fast fireballs, right? Super fast fireballs. Well, in old school Street Fighter, not only are fireballs fast, obviously, right? It became sometimes awkward to punish because if you jumped too late over a fireball, you might have to hit your jump in early, right? And if you hit the jump in too early, you're not going to be able to land and then combo the guy, right? Even though you are counter hitting them out of the fireball with your jump in, since the fireball recovers so quickly, you then have to do your jump in normal early, right? To make sure you can at least tag them with something. And then that meant there was now a mix up or a guessing game when you landed on the ground, right? Because you were both at even. So there might be a throw mix up if a character like Ryu was jumping in at another Ryu, who's gonna DP if they're thinking one guy's gonna throw, whatever it might be. You see, there's actually just in a simple thing like that, because there were no counter hits, you have a sort of mind game there that is not possible in newer Street Fighter. Of course, fireballs are slower as well, blah, 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 blah. And this sort of specific instant might not always come up as much as it did in Super Turbo, but that's a very easy example too. Another easy example I want to give is look at an example of Ryu or Ken versus Guile, okay? Let's look at Ryu's Jump Fierce versus Ken's Jump Fierce. Now, I made the blue line a little bit bigger so you could see, right? So maybe if you just look at them at face value, if you weren't super looking at it, they might look the same, but you can see that Ken's Jump Fierce is better than Ryu's. And excuse me, I always think this example and whenever I show hitboxes, etc., is funny because we didn't even know about hitboxes and stuff like that back in the day. We just had to learn for the feel, so we knew that, you know what, we don't know why, but Ken's Jump Fierce is just better. We don't know the exact hitboxes of the move, we just know it's better. But now that we actually have hitboxes, we can see why the priority is better. And it looks minuscule, but you know what I mean? Let's see, how big is this box right here? This box is pretty, compared to Ryu, it's pretty small, right? Let's say it's like that big, right? So if we were to go with this box right here, let's say we have a matchup like Guile, right? And we see this little box. This is just about as big as Guile's thing right there with his Fierce, right? You see that the blue line here again? I know this is the quality you get on this channel, right? It's just that, it's just about that big, right? What a coincidence, right? So let's get a little bit deeper into this. So for Ryu, for Ryu to beat Guile's Jump Fierce, or for Ryu's Jump Fierce to beat Guile's Duck Fierce when he's jumping in, a lot of times he can't do it late to guarantee a combo, right? He can't do it late to guarantee a combo because at that point he's too deep into him, whatever, right? So to actually beat him, or at this range, if he was trying to do it deep, it will beat that, or whatever, but hopefully you get what I'm getting at, the different areas, right? So for Ryu to beat Guile, he actually has to do it very early, right? When Guile is at the starting animation. But if Ryu Jump Fierce is that early to beat Guile's animation like that, that means he's put into the guessing game of, oh, am I going to land in DP? Am I going to land or then I'm going to throw? Because nothing is actually guaranteed since I have to do the Jump Fierce early. Even if I counter hit Guile's early Duck Fierce, there's no extra stun for me doing that. So now we're at neutral at the beginning, right? Do you see a little bit of a mind game there that is not in newer Street Fighter per se because of counter hits like that? So we have then, let's take this another example then. Now we have a character like Ken. Well, Ken's Jump Fierce, like I said, if we look at this little box here, we have this little box here. Ken's Jump Fierce does still beat this move, even if it's done at that kind of range. And even if it wasn't, Ken can cancel into the Hurricane Kick, right? Unlike Ryu. Ryu can cancel into Hurricane Kick, but it doesn't combo like that. So Ken actually has a little bit of a mind game here versus Guile, or can do something a little bit better versus Guile, because Ken, not only does Ken's Jump Fierce beat Guile at more realistic ranges, both first and second frames of where it hits, or frames or hitboxes, whatever, sprites, I guess, right? But even if Ken does the Jump Fierce early, Ken can do a Hurricane Kick, which then compensates for hitting the move earlier, hits Guile, and then Ken can combo. Just like Ken, if Ken were to jump in at Ryu, and he's like, oh, fuck, I can't Jump Fierce, or I wouldn't normally to be able to combo him because I had to tag him early in the animation frames. Well, Ken, in this situation, I can cancel to a Hurricane Kick that compensates for hitting the Jump Fierce early, and then I can still get a sweep combo or whatever range he might be at, right? So I feel like this is like a kind of easy example of potential complexity in archaicness, right? Because you have this kind of situation of when you're jumping in at a guy and you're like, oh, fuck, well, I want to punish him, but to punish him, I have to hit my move very early. Now no jump in is guaranteed. Now we have actually kind of a mix-up situation when I hit the ground because nothing is guaranteed, right? And then we have characters like Ken can actually take advantage of this. Not only is Ken's Jump Fierce better, so it can more realistically win in these situations, Ken can more easily jump in at a range to punish something and get a more actual combo off of it, whereas Ryu cannot. Does that make sense? Do you know what I mean? So anyway, there's this whole meta game of, oh, maybe Guile wants the early Duck Fierce, whatever, because he wants to take advantage of this priority. That doesn't matter to Ken because Ken hitbox is still going to beat it at that range. And if they're both doing it early, Ken is not affected by winning the exchange early because he can still combo. Do you get what I'm getting at? I feel like I kind of like finagled that a little bit. Do you know what I mean? But hopefully you get what I'm getting at. Again, potential complexity in archaicness. Although video games have progressed with the ideas of counter hits and everything like that, these are situations that you don't get to appreciate as much in newer games because counter hits like, oh, you jumped over my move. Well, you're going to combo me. You know what I mean? So I think that's a good example. And that's why I said if I was making a Street Fighter game, I would actually lean towards counter hits exist in the air as well, but you don't actually get more stun. So you can still appreciate this meta of Street Fighter, of fighting games in general, that you don't get to appreciate as much in newer games because more so nowadays it's like, oh, well, if I win the exchange, I always get the combo. Do you get what I'm getting at? And maybe I'm sure there's going to be somebody like, well, if I correctly jump over you, I should always get a free combo. Everything's for free, right? But I'm sure that would be the, devil's advocate or trying to argue it, whatever. But hopefully you get what I'm getting at. The end.